Are members of Congress going to be able to get David Grusch in a SCIF? Are they going to be able to get the true information that he cannot reveal in an open setting from the man himself? Well, Representative Luna and Burchett are now openly talking about that. So let's find out what the status is on getting the real answers from David Grusch. We'll start with Luna, and then we'll go to Burchett. So get in here. It's time for another David Grusch update. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, without any further ado, let's go to Representative Luna.
What is the status of that effort in terms of you guys being able to go into a SCIF? For those who don't know, a SCIF is a sensitive facility where you're able to view sensitive documents and information. What's the status of that effort? And if you could just talk a little bit about why that would be helpful for increasing transparency and letting the American people be more aware of information that's out there.
Yeah, of course. So as you heard from Grusch's testimony, there were some things that he could not address in the hearing because of the classification of that information. Now, the excuse that the Department of Defense is using for us not being able to get a SCIF is that Grusch doesn't have an active clearance. So unless he has an active clearance, they're saying that he can't divulge that information to us, which is, one, I believe, false. And then also, two, it just is another point that we're trying to make, that the Department of Defense is literally trying to stonewall us. But the status is as follows. We are working on him getting him a clearance, for one. And then also, two, we're working on getting access to be allowed to use a SCIF. And the good thing is that we have multiple lawmakers that have signed on to a letter that Representative Burchett has put forward. And then we are also requesting, and we have put out a letter to myself, Jared Moskowitz, Representative Gates, and Representative Burchett, have all signed on to a letter to Speaker McCarthy to ask for a special select committee to investigate this so that we have subpoena power. Because as you're seeing, there is so much stuff that we've had to really overcome hurdle-wise that they've just tried to throw at us to prevent us from doing this.
So there you go. That's what Luna had to say. I'm a little confused by this whole clearance issue because that was the original reason we were given why they weren't able to get David Grusch in a SCIF, is because we were told he didn't have the clearances necessary, that they had been removed when he had left the government, as possibly as part of the reprisals against him. Since then, we've learned supposedly that that's not true, that indeed he still has his security clearances. And yet Luna is saying otherwise. So what is the truth? Does David Grusch have his security clearances or doesn't he? I can't make heads nor tails of this situation. Maybe Tim Burchett can illuminate us.
Congresswoman Luna, after the hearing, had mentioned that they were going to work on, her and a group of lawmakers were going to work on having another hearing, speaking to the witnesses rather, in a public setting, perhaps in a SCIF. Are you part of those efforts? And can you give a status update, if so, where those efforts are?
Yeah, Matt Gaetz penned a letter that myself and three others signed that we're trying to, we'd like for Speaker McCarthy and, Chairman Comer actually, to appoint a select committee just to do just that. So we would have subpoena powers and we could bring those people in. I think the thing is, if they don't have anything to hide, if the Pentagon doesn't, then they shouldn't throw up another roadblock as they've done in the past on some of this other stuff. So hopefully the Chairman Comer, I suspect the American public, though, is lighting him up and Speaker McCarthy about this issue, because it's polling shows that there's more than half the population believes that there's something else out there, and those are pretty good odds for a politician. I always say 50% plus one is all you need on election day, but they've clearly, and it's really touched a nerve.
So there you go. He's talking more about the select committee than he is the SCIF when asked this question. So that makes me think the select committee may be necessary for the SCIF to go forward, that they may need this subpoena power and this additional authority in order to get David Grusch and others in a SCIF and get some answers from them. I'm a little vague on all of that, but he does talk more about the select committee going forward, and I think the select committee, well, it's something that I'm very excited about. It's something that we'll have in the public eye and the public purview that we'll know about. We may not get all the the details that we would like from them, but we will know that there is a congressional body devoted to getting answers on UFOs and UAP. And that is extremely exciting to me, that we actually have Congress engaged in this openly for the first time ever. I mean, there's even articles in the Hill about it. Bipartisan House group pushes for select committee classified hearings into UFOs. The bipartisan group of representatives pushing for public information on UAP is having difficulty continuing their effort after a blockbuster committee hearing last month. The Hill hosted an event Thursday, which was moderated by congressional reporter Michael Schnell and featured 3 of the 4 members of Congress who have pushed for UAP transparency. I hear from people more on this subject than anything else, said Representative Moskowitz. Not the Trump indictments, not Hunter Biden. They are talking about the UAP hearing because there's great interest in this government transparency issue. Anyway, the article goes on, but I'll link to it. But this idea of the select committee is getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so, I think. The Schumer rounds legislation will, if it gets passed in its current form, will provide for a gatekeeping committee to filter what information that we are able to get from Sean Kirkpatrick. So they will allow us to see certain portions of that, supposedly. I don't have a lot of faith in that committee or that process. I have a lot more faith in this select committee. If indeed it is a permanent body in Congress devoted to looking at UAPs, comprised of Congress people that are actually interested in this subject and, just as importantly, interested in disclosure. Tim Burchett has also asked more about the select committee. Let's hear what he has to say.
Circumstances in a closed setting, are there any other reasons why a select committee would help and aid your efforts?
The SCIF, we've run into so many roadblocks there. We're trying to use a third-party administrator and all this stuff. It's just, we're running into a lot of roadblocks there, and that's the problem with this whole thing. It just creates more and more conspiracy theories because our federal government is so arrogant and so bloated, and they can just they'll just run out the clock. Now, I'm guilty of this as well, but Americans want their pizzas in 30 minutes or less, and that's about our dadgum attention span.
Have you heard back from Speaker McCarthy about this request?
No, I have not. I'm going to be, I thought I'd let the dust settle a little bit. I know some folks are vacationing and I don't want to bother him, but he knows my interest, and I've talked with Chairman Comer, and I'm going to talk to him again.
And then before we...
Well, there you go. It is summertime. Congress and Washington is kind of taking a break. A lot of people are. So we're just going to have to kind of wait for the wheels to roll a little bit on that one. But there is progress being made. We are going to hopefully get this select committee with subpoena power that is going to be able to compel witnesses to come forward, hopefully people like David Grusch, to be able to testify to their heart's content in a secure environment. Now, we the people won't get to see that, unfortunately. Hopefully some stuff will leak out from those SCIFs. I really, really hope so. But we do need members of Congress that are actually committed to this sort of thing to get the information they need. And then we can only hope that they do what's right and clue us, the people, in on what the hell is going on. This is really probably our best bet for getting any disclosure or answers from the government. I have some hope in the Schumer rounds amendment, but at the same time, I have just kind of a knee-jerk reaction with the government and the establishment. At that level, taking an interest in the UFO topic and the UAP topic, and actually forming a gatekeeping committee to filter what we get, and possibly compelling people to go through Sean Kirkpatrick and Arrow. I'm a little relieved that Arrow may be taken out from under Ron Moultrie, and time will tell if that actually makes a difference or not. but I am slightly optimistic that it will. We'll see. All of which is to say that I'm a lot more excited about the select committee than I am this Council of Nine or gatekeeping committee or whatever it's going to be called. But government is taking a siesta right now, so we're just going to have to wait, and we're going to have to hope that if they do get these guys, David Grusch, and not just David Grusch, but the actual people that were involved in the programs, the UFO reverse engineering and retrieval operations, if we can get those guys talking to Tim Burchett and Representative Luna and Muskowitz and revealing their information and proof to these guys, maybe even taking them to see some UFOs, then we're going to get some answers. Anyway, that's the current state of getting David Grusch in a SCIF, and also new information on the select committee and how it may be very instrumental in getting David Grusch in a SCIF. I'm very excited about this, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you could share this video on social media, that would be super helpful. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, there's a PayPal button below. Or heck, you could become a channel member and become a rock star, because that's what channel members are. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.